Dimi Berbatov joins us as well. Dimi, let's start with you. That was embarrassing, wasn't it, from your old team?
Hi guys. Yeah, unfortunately, a bad night for United and everybody connected with the club, especially when you play 80 minutes with one man more on the pitch and not be able to score a goal. But credit to Everton and their whole team for defending the way they should. But still, though, something that United need to think of, that goal that they're missing to score, especially again playing with one man more on the pitch for 80 minutes.
What the heck happened, Stevie? You think down to 10 men, yeah. But United were sloppy right from the start in this tie.
Yeah, they were. I mean, you know, you thought straight away when they go down to 10, we're all sitting going, well, this is done.
Yeah.
You know, because up until then, I'm not sure Man United had been in Everton's half that much up to that point. But it took them till the second half, because for the rest of the first half, we saw the goal. Manchester United did nothing, absolutely nothing. And yes, there was a bit of an onslaught in terms of territorial advantage. But the biggest problem United had is not moving the ball quickly. When you're a man up and you move the ball around, then the opposition have to move around quicker. And that takes the legs out of them. Instead of that, you're knocking the ball around from side to side. It's so easy for Everton just to shuffle across. So you're not taking advantage of the extra man. That's the biggest problem. They didn't take advantage because he didn't move the ball quick enough.
Were they complacent, Shaq?
I don't know. It's difficult to explain, right? From a United perspective, hard to explain, even more difficult to excuse. My first thought is for David Moyes here. He's had 2 weeks to think about this game, and then all of a sudden, in 13 minutes, two of your own players fighting, one gets sent off, and now you have to readjust. But credit to whether it's David Moyes or just the other 10 players left on the park, I thought Everton were great value for their point. No, the other side to that is you could, certainly I would say Jordan Pickford was Everton's best player, would get man of the match. But that does not paint the true picture of how this game went. I thought the 10 men of Everton bossed this game for large spells. As the game went on, of course, they tired and United had more possession, brought more to Jordan Pickford. But there were times where Everton looked the more likely to score. Even after the break, when Amorim makes changes and brings Mount on and Mazraoui goes off, I still think Everton defended wonderfully well, limited Manchester United's opportunities. And there was no real adjustment other than that. And maybe the argument is Ruben Amorim didn't have too much to call on, with Sesko and Cunha both out injured. But the truth is, United at home, a man up with, 60 minutes, 70 minutes of the game still to play, there should have been a foregone conclusion by halftime.
I think over 80 minutes, Shaq.
Yeah.
Not meaning to question your maths. Yeah. Frank, how do you explain this?
Well, simply by the fact that I think Manchester United played only on one gear. They didn't change the pace at a certain point of on the pitch, where normally you see Amad Diallo pacing up and troubling the defense. It was the same again, the same pace and the same gear, and so you don't surprise the defense. And if you can play 10 against 11. I mean, I remember training with Gianluca Vialli, an Italian specialist, 4 against 10, and they couldn't score because we are well organized and we are moving. And if you don't change the pace, and if you don't try to surprise the defense, you're not going to score. Oh, yes, you need an artist like Dimitar Berbatov, but otherwise it doesn't work. And that's what happened today or tonight for Manchester United. And Dewsbury Hall showed how to change the pace and how to surprise. And one goal, bye-bye.
Dimitar, don't believe a word. You should have heard what he was saying before you came on air. Have you ever wanted to punch your teammate, Dimitar?
Oh, pretty much every game, to be honest. But as someone, listen. I like stuff like this. It shows that you want to win. You're passionate. You want your team to do well. You want your teammates to do well. And sometimes tension boils, and either sometimes you argue with the opposition, sometimes that it happens you argue with your own teammates. And we've been witnessing in the past as well, bust up in the Premier League as much as you want. But again, you should stay in the dressing room or after the game. not on the pitch, of course, because then you get the red card, you leave your teammates with one man short.
To
Frank,
Frank's
his name
point,
is.
to Frank's point, I wasn't at Newcastle
Thank you.
at the
Thank you
time
to remember my name.
I wasn't at Newcastle at the time of the incident that he referenced. I've not seen anything like that during a game. Obviously, there was the Ariel Berkovic and John Hartson incident when at West Ham, but that was a new training ground. Again, it's one of those, and thank goodness for the result, because had Everton lost, this could have just kept going and going for who knows how long. But the fact that they won at least allows, it drops the temperature, allows players to laugh and just kind of figure things out. Had they lost, I think this could have been infinitely worse.
Steve, when we were watching the game, you brought up Bruce Grobbelaar and Steve McMahon, which I'd completely forgotten about. And that was, if there was VAR, they both have been sent off during that time.
Yeah, well, because they both hit each other in the face.
Yeah.
But it started and finished in the snap of your fingers. And of course, there's no VAR back then, and it was only the cameras that picked it up. The referee and the linesman don't see it.
But is that something that still bubbles in the dressing room afterwards?
No.
That's so weird,
No,
isn't it? You wouldn't think that.
It stops as quickly as it starts, and it's forgotten. Because we all understand that there's things happen on the field, and sometimes there's a bit of red mist, and with Bruce, you know, Bruce lived on the edge a lot.
Right.
Macca's the complete opposite.
Nicely.
I mean, Macca's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
No, there's nobody cooler and calmer than Macca, but even Macca retaliated. And again, it's the usual. Keane, 100% is in the wrong. And if I'm David Moyes, I'm actually pointing the finger more at Keane because...
Really?
Well, Gueye's reacted. The guy who's on the field of play, and we've seen it over the course of how many years, somebody has a bad challenge, the other guy loses control and hits him and gets sent off. The guy who retaliates gets sent off. And it's the same here. So if I'm David Moyes, I've got more of a problem that Keane has lifted his hands first. That's where I would start.
Frank, have you ever come close? Chris Sutton, you ate him.
No, he spitted on me, but there was a year before when he was playing for Blackburn. But I remember one guy in Blackburn, Graham Lusso, having a fight as well. I don't remember against whom, but that was insane because I know Graham. Graham is the coolest guy in the world, you know, loving everybody. When I saw the image, it was before he signed for Chelsea. I couldn't believe, knowing him after that he was capable of doing that and not stopping and fighting back. So it never happened to me, and no, I would have never reacted. You could be upset with somebody, but you don't go that far. I mean, you have to be, come on, you have to think a bit. We know we're all football players. Sometimes we have empty brains, but still think a little bit, you know, guys.
Let's focus a little bit on Manchester United, Dimitar. It's incredible thinking when you were with them, of course, winning Premier League titles, one of the best teams in the world, to drop how far they have. It must still seem a bit of a surprise for someone who was there during the peak of their success.
Of course it is, and it's even difficult sometimes to speak about the present days and then go back to the past and compare years and how long it's been since the last Premier League trophy. And it's in a way of speaking like United needs to go back to winning ways now for 13 years without that Premier League trophy, but it is what it is. It shows you that sometimes the Premier League is so difficult to compete. Even Liverpool now dropping to 11 after they become champions last year. Of course, it's credit to the other teams that they are building the competition, so you need to be better every year if you want to stay to the top. But from Manchester United perspective, honestly, sometimes when we spoke with former teammates, we are wondering what is the right answer. That's probably the answer. And we are just hoping that as soon as possible, United will come back to the right path of winning games. But obviously, it's not going to be tonight as well, because it was I can say, poor performance, because you should be able to score at least against the opposition who is playing with one man short on the pitch, but he was not able today. So there's a long road again to walk until we can finally be sure that United will go back to the fighting for the Premier League.
Dimitar, have you seen enough from Ruben Amorim to believe that he is the right man for the job?
Well, it's easy to sit here in my home or you guys in the studio and everybody can criticize. That's the easiest thing to do, right? Especially from us ex-football players. But I don't want to be that guy because I've never been a manager. I've never been in that chair. I've never felt that pressure. I've never managed a team. So it sounds a bit ridiculous if I give my opinion on that. I just hope that he will find the right tools, the right players, the right system, although we all know that he's not going to change his system. But still, though, that hope is alive there that United will do something. Maybe the point difference, not with the first, but for the first places, is not that big yet. If they can find the right course of playing. 10th place, 18 points, the 50s, 20, 40s, 21. So it's not that big gap. That's the only thing that gives me hope right now.
Yeah, everyone is beating everybody else, Frank. So in that sense, you know, there is still hope of Manchester United finishing maybe even in the top 4 place. But in the same conversation, you could talk about them finishing 13th or 14th.
Exactly, and with the result that they had today, you know, with an opportunity playing 11 against 10, you should have gotten the 3 points, and it's hard to believe that you can get better if you're not capable of having a result today. So yeah, everything is possible, like Spurs, and they're just one spot above Manchester United. Everything is possible, even for the first 3 or 4, for Chelsea, for anybody. You have to be really aware of what's going on behind you, because that can change very quickly. So it's an no, it's not open race for the title, because we feel that Arsenal is already there. But after, it's really open for everything.
You know, they showed that the team, the very first team that Ruben Amorim put on the field, and they compared it to the team today. And so he's changed half the team. And so I remember us talking about, well, it's a culture. That's the biggest thing. You can't argue that players at United have ability. But in order to be a top club and a top team, you need the right characters and you need the right culture. And so when you look at what Man United produced today, it's hard not to question the manager, considering he's changed half the team, but yet there's no difference from that first game.
I suppose he's got injuries to deal with, and the new signings coming in, sets go out.
Right. Well, let's go with that and talk about the culture and the character of the team.
Right.
And so that's why they don't beat 10 men today. That's why they get beat 1-0, because the characters in the team aren't capable of taking advantage of it, and the culture clearly isn't there. That they know in their heart, all we have to do is everybody gets together, everybody is going in the right direction, all is one, and we're going to steamroll 10 men. That isn't there. So, again, it's recruitment, but again, you have to look at the manager also.
I find it a little hard to put so much of the blame on Amorim today. And maybe to your point, there are characters out in that part. Bruno Fernandes is out there, Casemiro is out there. There are characters, to Stevie's point. We've criticised Amorim time and time again for his rigidity with his 3 at the back, but he goes to 4 at the back for the second half. 11 men against 10, that's down to the men on the park. If you allow the 10 men to outrun you, to outwork you, to outdefend you, that's down to the men on the park. And so while I get Stevie's point about Amorim in the bigger picture, today I absolve him of responsibility for today's result.
Dimitar, do you agree with Shaka?
I think yes, to be honest, because that's why I say sometimes it goes down for the manager. We can criticize him the way he stick to his system, which he doesn't bring the result that we all want. At the same time, sometimes the characters on the pitch can decide the games. Although we have characters like the guys mentioned in the studio, like big name players like Casemiro, who won pretty much everything. You have Bruno Fernandes there as a captain to lead the line. But obviously, even that sometimes is not enough. And when that culture of winning the Premier League is not there yet after so many years, it's difficult to get it back. It's difficult to get it back. And that's one of the problems, to get into that way of keep calm when the storm is going around you. Find the right way when the team is getting with 10 men, the opposition. Now, let's not be in a hurry. We'll find the right solution. We'll find the right pass. We'll find the right space. We improvise. We score a goal. Today, that's not the case, even though we had chances to score. Pickford was probably man of the match as well. But you should win games like this if you want to go high in the table.